the tap, I am Skinny Jeans.
Tad the Tank.
And we are the Kissing Cousins. And as promised, we are bringing to you a beer review every week from a different brewery all over the country. This week, we kept it close to home. We're from Green Bay, Wisconsin. We went with Titletown Brewery's Johnny Blood Red.
All right, a little bit about the brewery itself. It used to be a train depot for Chicago Northwestern. It was purchased and turned into a brewery in 1996.
Basically, the beer we're talking about today is an Irish red ale, okay? And red ales use English hops and specialty roasted malts, which give the beer kind of a sweeter butterscotch and caramelized flavor. You'll also notice with the coloring, it does kind of have that reddish caramelized flavor and look to it.
It's named after Johnny Blood Red himself, a former Packer player from the 30s. He was a halfback.
Kind of a badass.
He was actually self-appointed, so that's pretty badass for somebody just to give themselves a nickname.
How full of yourself do you have to be right? To be like, you're calling me Blood?
Like he liked the name Blood. I guess it's said that he once signed an autograph, like he cut his hand open, just sliced himself open, and signed an autograph in his own blood. Like, that's a pretty hardcore dude. There's pictures and stuff that we will post, and it shows like just his demeanor, the way he carried himself. He looked like a ladies' man. Like he was a real stud. So.
Well, we have a statue downtown Green Bay of him with a number of other players down there too. So kind of cool.
Yeah,
Green Bay Packers are a big staple, and basically the whole reason why Green Bay is on the map. So
yeah, we wouldn't be much without him.
You're right, exactly.
But this beer is named after him. It's a great beer. The taste is real, like it's a mellow taste. It's drinkable.
Very drinkable.
The aroma, there's not a huge hoppy aroma to it, which some people could get turned off by. It's smooth all the way from start to finish. There's no kick in the mouth. There's no bite to your nose, I guess. It's a really quality beer that was put together, and I think it does justice to the guy it's supposed to portray.
Right, and it's going to be more on your lager end. It's not light, but it's not super heavy. So it's not going to fill you up to the point where you're like, I can't have more than one or two of these. The drinkability of this beer is very high. You can have multiple all day long if you need to.
Yeah, and it's an Irish ale, which the only thing that's really different than your amber ales and stuff is the roasted malt barley.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the big distinction between it, which gives it that really sweet, awesome flavor. So.
Yeah, this brewery actually placed second for the Irish ale in the Great American Beer Festival in 2015, which takes place in, I think it's Boulder, Colorado.
Yep, every year they have it.
And there's thousands of breweries that get into this whole, like, I don't even, is it a competition I don't even...
It's kind of a competition, like everybody, they just go there and it's basically a huge beer fest, honestly. Like,
I have a few friends that have gone to it.
All these breweries there, and like you pay, you get your cups and stuff, you go sample beers and stuff, and you vote on stuff, and
yeah,
it's a very, very sweet thing to go check out. I'm hoping we get to do it.
Yeah,
that would be awesome. So, and like the company I work for, our boss, he actually goes to it every year, and he says it's something you'll never see in the state of Wisconsin, probably. Like it's just
like a 4 or 5 day.
Yeah, it's huge. So
that's awesome.
And that's a big deal taking a silver. I mean, I don't know their whole grading scale out there. Like I'd imagine it's just like the Olympics, right? Like gold, silver, bronze.
Yeah, pretty much.
So silver's a pretty good thing to take out of all these breweries that go there. It's not just stateside; it's world, world breweries. So that's a big accomplishment to take, and it's definitely a staple here in Green Bay. Like, it's probably their number one seller.
This is a flagship beer, not only for the brewery, but for the area. This is the one beer that I think if you're describing Green Bay with a beer, I don't think there really is another one that compares to it, or that you would tell anyone else they need to try. We have a number of craft breweries in the area, but this one has been the most popular, and it's been around, I think, probably the longest.
Yeah, I mean, they got their Green 19, their IPA, which
Yeah.
is another huge thing, and maybe we'll do a review on it later on. But this is definitely my favorite beer from them.
Yeah.
I definitely enjoy it. If I had to rate this, I guess I'd give it probably a 7. A solid 7 out of, I guess, 10 using a decimal system, so...
Yeah, if we do 1 to 10 using decimal, this beer actually was one of the first beers I had when introduced to craft beer. I didn't really understand it. I was always a big domestic guy. It was Coors Light at the time, or when I was poor, it was Keystone. So
Some hams.
Some hams, yeah. So I didn't understand all these weird, funky, frou-frou beers, and now I'm like diving in. I'm 100% in. I try not to touch domestic beer. I love this beer because to me it has kind of a sentimental value based on being one of my very first craft brews that I've tried. It's local. It's easy to turn other people on to the craft beer world with this beer. I give it a 6.9. I haven't had too many red ales, which is why I probably don't grade it higher. So maybe that's on me. Maybe we'll touch base and come back and I'll change my mind a little bit, but
Yeah, I mean...
I want to be fair on the scale.
I think we'll grow, like, as we're doing this, we're going to grow with our beer and learn more about it, so... I think a solid 7 is where I'm going to stand with it, just because it's one of the first red ales, or Irish red ales, I guess. I've had red ales, but this is the first Irish one I've actually had, so I have nothing to base my knowledge off of or what I should grade it. Like, eventually I'd love to try more Irish red ales and
Right.
then grade it again.
Absolutely.
So maybe we'll make a full circle on this show sometimes and we'll come back and redo stuff.
Right.
We like to drink anyways.
And it says right on the bottle that, I mean, like, according to the Surgeon General, I mean, like, it's, according to them, you're not supposed to drink it if you're pregnant or are operating machinery. So, I mean, according to them.
I mean, I've seen some people operating equipment.
This brewery's pretty sweet, though. I mean, overall, they have a great restaurant. Their food is phenomenal. The growler that's over there, you could get that filled up for under $20. Any beer you want that they have on tap. Right here, we have a growler. They just started coming out with these. It's a 32-ounce can, and they will actually can it right in their tap room with whatever they have on tap. I mean, it makes it really hard to not walk out of there with any beer.
Yeah. A little bit about what they got going on right now, too. They just expanded. They used to have a 2,000-barrel system. Now they have a 30,000-barrel system. So they are cranking out some brew now.
And all of this it almost seemed like it happened overnight because it's happened within the last 2 to 3 years.
Well, and like you didn't really see the construction because they took an old building, an old manufacturing building, and they did all the inside work, and it's like, bam, this place is open.
Right. So before you knew it, there's an upstairs open concept bar outside, and then you have all the games and everything inside, and it still just kind of looks like a crappy old factory.
But the inside is phenomenal. It's huge. It's spacious. Like there's weddings held there. There's all kinds of stuff. Like
you go there, they have beanbag tossed it up. The one thing that's really cool is their bar top in the tap room is kind of done up how you have yours. A little side note is you just basically took a little
torch,
and you just burn the top of the bar, and it gives it kind of that cool texture look.
Yep.
And they did that to their bar, but they also took shards of broken bottles, and they put them in there, and then they basically just put like epoxy or like a lacquer or something over it, and it's pretty cool inside of there. I really like it. It's a great atmosphere, very family friendly. It's a pretty big restaurant, and like we said at the beginning of the show, it's in an old train station. So if you're sitting outside in the summertime, there's a train that'll go by maybe every couple of hours, and the dude always honks his train horn.
They actually have a boxcar outside too, and I think they kind of incorporated in with what they got going on too.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty sweet thing to check out. Like they have all kinds of old brewery stuff just from like back in the day, like when craft brew actually started. Like it's not just their brews; it's like the foundation of how craft brew got started. So it's really sweet stuff to check out.
Absolutely. We were there actually this morning. Had a couple Bloody Marys, hair of the dog, and tried a few different beers they had on tap. But I give it a 6.9. You give it a 7.0. We're going to do this every week. So hopefully the more we get comfortable on camera, the better we get. We're going to try to give you as much information about the beer and the brewery as possible. So all you guys can do right now is follow us, hit us up on our social media. We are on Instagram, which is Off the Tap GB 2018. Our email is offthetapgb2018@gmail.com. Our Facebook is Off the Tap. That has been the
highlight. Like, we're growing on Facebook for sure.
The likes and the shares that we've already gotten, and we've barely posted anything, is incredible. So thank you. Keep up with us. Keep following us. Keep liking. Keep sharing. Criticize us. The only way that we can grow and get better is if you tell us how crappy we're doing.
Definitely go to our YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, comment, do whatever you can there. Like, the more we grow there, the more we can do.
Absolutely. This is also going to be in podcast form. So as soon as we're approved for that, make sure to look us up on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, anywhere that anywhere that podcast can be found. You'll be able to listen to us.
Yeah. So
I'm Skinny Jeans.
I'm Tad the Tank.
We'll see you later.